Hello. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a smart lighting system using a Raspberry Pi board and the Blink app on your mobile. So let's get started here. So a smart lighting system is used to make the process of switching on and off the lights automated, which conserves a lot of energy. So this is being done using an LDR sensor, which helps us make the decision on switching on and off the lights based on the luminous intensity around us. So the last time around, we had just basically run the code on the Raspberry Pi and made those decisions accordingly. So now we have given a user interface through the Blink app where you can have a smart mode or a manual mode as well, where you can switch on and off the lights by yourself or make the smart mode enabled so that it can happen depending on the decision taken by the LDR sensor values. So now let's get into the circuit connections and brief introduction to all the components on the board. So here on the right hand side we have an LDR sensor connected to a 0.1 microfarad capacitor. So the LDR sensor, as we know, is a light dependent resistor, which in our case outputs the values of resistance depending on the luminous intensity around it. So we draw the resistance values through the time constant concept, which says that the time required to charge a capacitor in the circuit is equal to the resistance of the circuit multiplied by the capacitor value. So based on this concept, we'll be drawing the resistance values and we apply a threshold on it so that we make our decisions properly. So the threshold we are setting it as 500 ohms. So once it crosses above 500 ohms, the light intensity is quite low and the LEDs would be on. So if the value of the resistor falls below 500, that means to say that the luminous intensity is quite high outside and therefore the lights must be off. So we observe here the luminous intensity is inversely proportional to the resistance values. So coming to the connections part, we see the blue line connecting to the GPIO 17, that's the board pin 11 on the board, and the orange wire connecting to the other end of the LDR connecting to the GPIO 27 or the port pin 13 on the board. So we see the black wire that's giving the ground connection. So we have supplied the ground connection at this part of the board. As you know, the vertical holes would carry the same potential. So we have connected this black wire here. Then we move on to the LEDs, which make up an alternative to the lights and bulbs at our home. So we see here the GPIO pins, the board pin numbers 18, 15 and 16 are being connected to the LEDs here in the circuit. So the GPIO is connected with the resistor. The resistor in turn is connected with the anode of the LED and the cathode connecting to the ground. The same is carried out in all the three cases here. So now that we have understood the circuit connections, let's move on to the app to configure our requirements and then get back to the hardware again and see the implementation. Before we move into our hardware implementation, let's configure our app to show the outputs and monitor from the app. I've given a brief introduction to the Blink app, configuring a new project and using it in the last tutorial as well. So to check out the last tutorial, I'll directly enter into the detailed version of the project which I've created already. So I've created a new project, I've given a name, Smart Lighting, and I've chosen my board here, Raspberry Pi 3. Automatically it's set to Wi-Fi and then I create it. I get back to my screen here. This is the project. The app has got a gauge that is for the LDR value. You can see the last time around I've run the program, the value still exists here. For the LED status, I've got a value display. Whatever value it's 0 or 1, that shall be projected on the value display here, connected to a virtual pin 3. So we use virtual pins to show the data on the app. So have a look at the gauge as well. I've given the min max values. Min will be 0 and the max will be 1250. So you can make those changes according to the scale you require. And this is set up on V2, virtual pin 2. Then see LED buttons here. So we have given these for manually controlling the LED buttons. So these are connected at specific virtual pins. So this LED one is connected at V5. I've given it as a switch button. So as it operates at a home, doing that from here. LED 2 at V7, same configuration. And LED 3 at V6, the same configuration again. This lighting mode, this is also a button connected to pin V8. So you can see the labels here, smart mode and the manual mode. So whenever you want to switch to smart mode or manual mode, you can toggle the switch and enter into those respective modes. So once we enter into the program, we'll understand this and we'll see how it's able to operate the Raspberry Pi's GPIO and make it work accordingly. Now that we have gone through the pin connections in detail, let's have a look at the hardware circuit and have a look at the connections in much more detail. So let's close in to the LDR sensor. So you see here two sides of the LDR are given the pins 17 and 27. And there you have a zero point 0.1 microfarad ceramic capacitor. So that makes the LDR sensor circuit. And the gray wire on this part, this is the ground potential supplied to the board. On the right hand side of the board, we have the LEDs. These LEDs have got the cathode connected to the ground and the anode connected to GPIOs of the Raspberry Pi. So I've taken GPIO 18, 15 and 16 for the LEDs on the board. That is as per the board naming or the PCM one. So we see those connections here on the Raspberry Pi. So this is all about the hardware circuit. Now let's move on to the implementation part to see how it works. So now here we are at the Raspberry Pi terminal. We have entered the directory in which I've placed the code files. So it's just running them right now. So we'll open the command, the file name. So once you run, you should be getting this text in here, the Blink for Python, the version you have, the bracket Linux. So let's switch to the app and the hardware to see the implementation. So we have got the setup ready here, the program running. Now let's test it now. The program is running and it says smart lighting connected. Press the play button and you see it's in the manual mode now. The lighting mode says man. So when I tap any of the LED switches, the respective LED glows here now. There you go. Switch off. So yeah, all the LEDs are on. So this is the working of the manual mode. Now let's switch to the smart mode. So here you see in the smart mode, the LEDs are glowing because the LDR value is above the threshold, 500. So you can see on the gauge, you see the fluctuating values of the LDR. So now that it's a bit dark, all the LEDs are on. Now let's see how it works when the flash is on. So you see the flash is on, the LDR value shown on the gauge. That gives you all the LEDs off. Now let me try to change to manual mode. So in the manual mode it was all on, so the LEDs are on. It works fine even in this case. So let's switch back to the smart mode and all the LEDs are off again. So besides the LDR value gauge, there's an LED status register as well. So that gives you the LED status as 0 or 1. 0 saying that it's off and 1 saying that it's on. Turn the flash back off. There you go. The LEDs are on again with their specific LDR values and the LED status updated to 1. So this was the hardware implementation part. Now let's try to understand the code written for this project. Once we have gone through the hardware circuit and its implementation, now we move on to the code explanation here. So I've got the main code file which I've run for the project implementation open. So we start with importing rpi.gpio. It's for the GPIO setup and output declaration. Then from ldr_pr, that was the file which I had been using to extract the LDR values here. So I've written the code of the time constant concept there. Then we move on to importing the Blink libraries. The Blink lib is the one which I've downloaded. You can download that module from the net and use it in your program. Along with Blink lib, you need to be installing the Blink API as well to read the virtual pin values on the app to the Raspberry Pi board. Then we move to import sys, that is for some system specific parameters or functions that are being used in the program. Then we have the auth key. So here the authentication key would be entered. So this authentication key would be in your email. Whenever you create your project, the email registered with the Blink app would be receiving the email with the project title and its authentication code. So you need to be entering that in this part of the code. Then we move on to initializing the API functions here. So here I've declared a variable LED1 which will be holding the function value. That's a Blink function from the Blink API module. So Blink, your authentication key along with the virtual pin set up on the app. So I've given these virtual pins as you have seen in the hardware implementation. For the first LED I've given V5, that's a virtual pin 5. For LED 2 it's 7. For LED 3 it's 6. And all LED is for the LED status. So for the LED status I've used a virtual pin 3 here, and then this is for making the decision. I've used an extra V8 virtual pin. So this is for the lighting mode button which we have included in the app. So based on these values we'll be making some of the computations. So we'll check out in the code. So here we initialize the blink app. So we have these blink commands. Then for virtual write, that is writing on the virtual pins, have a function here. My write would be the write function here. So we set up the GPIOs at GPIO.board. So you can do it as per GPIO.board or GPIO.bcm as well, and then we move on to setting the warnings as false. And then we initialize the GPIO pins connected to the LEDs here. So we initialize and set them up as output pins 18, 15 and 16. The board pin naming, so those are initialized as output. And now here in the for loop we record the values of the LDR, take 5 of the values and average it. So we'd be putting that average value back onto the blink app. So the gauge which would be holding the LDR values would be with this command. So the virtual pin 2 here is being used by the gauge in the app. So we have the pin along with the format in which it needs to put the value in, and then the variable whose value needs to be on the gauge meter. So blink.virtualWrite is the function for this, for writing values on the virtual pins. So once this is done, we make our decisions here. So depending on the LDR values along with the threshold, we compare them, and then we set up the GPIOs as high or low accordingly. So here the P average is greater than 500, then switch on all the lights. We create a value 1 here, but that is for the LED status purpose. So value 1 and virtual write on the pin 3 with the value assigned earlier. Now we move on to the else function. So the else condition, we have the GPIO set to low. So 18, 15, 16 all set to low with the value 0 and write it back to the app on the pin 3. So the LED status is set to 0 here. So this was about my write function. Now we move to the virtual reading, wherein we do the same thing. We just initialize the board pins, set the warnings as false, then again initialize the board pins and set them to output. Now here these are the functions of the Blink API module. For the first LED, second LED and third LED, these are for the manual buttons. So whenever you press the manual button on the app, so the LED values here would be toggled. The value could be 0 or 1. So we try to record those values and store them in a particular variable. So that would be done by the get value function. First LED, second LED and third LED, we take their status, and then you'd be getting the values in a Unicode string here. So to convert the Unicode string into normal integer values, we use int and float declarations, then get it back into integers. And then now whenever the first LED is given with the value 1, that means to say the GPIO should go high. So that is being done here. GPIO.output 18, the GPIO goes high, else GPIO needs to be low. The same thing happens with the LED 2. Whenever the GPIO needs to go high, the value 1 would be supplied to LD2, that gets the GPIO high, else the GPIO must be low. The same thing with the third case as well. The GPIO 16 is being toggled in the same way. Now try, while true, we have the button status of the lighting mode button we have used in the app. So the same way which we have done for the LED section in the read function, we'd be doing the same thing to get the value of the switch, and then depending on the value we run the specific program. So when the value is 0, that means to say the smart mode is on. So my write would be the function which would be running here, else my read would be the function running. So blink.run would be running all the commands initialized with the blink functions. So whenever the keyboard interrupt is given, we initialize this system specific parameter and end the program. So in this video, we have learned how to make a smart lighting system using a Raspberry Pi board, interfacing it with the Blink app, and get the process of switching on and off the lights onto your fingertips now. To get the code for this project, you can check the blog link given in the description below. Thank you.